Welcome to Drama with Miss Johanna and William Shakespeare. In today's lesson, we're going to learn a little bit about William Shakespeare and do one of his speeches. William Shakespeare lived in England, where Harry Potter is from, in the late 1500s to the early 1600s. That meant Queen Elizabeth was ruling and then King James. Luckily, they both loved theater, so they kept him employed. He was a playwright. That meant he wrote plays. William Shakespeare wrote plays and sonnets too. Sonnets are beautiful poems that he would write. There are many collected works of William Shakespeare. All his plays or stories of his plays put into books or scripts or made into even comic books. Lois Burdett is an author and a school teacher at an elementary school in Canada, where she teaches her students all about the stories of William Shakespeare. And she's got these wonderful series of books that have all the illustrations done by her students. Interesting fact about William Shakespeare, he lived during a time where there was a disease called the plague, and people had to stay out of the theaters and the theaters were closed. William Shakespeare had to be creative from home during that time, and he wrote many plays and sonnets. And then when the plague was over, he was able to come back to the theaters, everything opened again, and people were able to enjoy theater once again. They rose up again, just like we will. Take a bow, William Shakespeare. It's a terrible bow. The thing that's really cool about Shakespeare's plays is also a little bit difficult for us, and that is that the language is really, really beautiful, but it's written in an old-fashioned way of speaking, so some of the words are hard for us to understand. Our challenge today is to look at one of his most famous speeches and understand it and perform it. Are you ready? Let's do it. We're going to learn a speech today from As You Like It. That's a play by William Shakespeare, and it's called All the World's a Stage. It's often referred to as the 7 Ages of Man's speech. So, here we go. Repeat after me. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. Very good. So what does that mean? All the world is a stage. Well, Shakespeare's comparing everyone in the world to all of us being in a play. That it's something we're all acting out and playing all our different roles. All of us do have different roles. You could be a sister, you could be a brother, a son, a daughter, a friend, a student, a worker. You could be all sorts of different things. A grandchild. You play different roles with different people, right? You act in a different way with different people you know. You might act differently with the principal than you do with your friends. And all the men and women merely players? A player is someone who is acting. They are an actor, a performer. So he's saying that the world is our stage and all of us play roles on the stage. Okay, repeat after me. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man, in his time, plays many parts. Very good. So let's talk about that for a second. What is an actor's exit? An exit means they leave the stage. If the world is our stage, an exit means we leave the world, right? We die. Mercy. And our entrance is being born. Yeah. So we have our exits and our entrances, and one man in his time, or one woman in his time of life, plays many different parts, plays many different roles. Okay, repeat after me. His acts being 7 ages. That's right. That means there are 7 different roles he could play throughout his life. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. So what does that mean? Well, it means at first, the first part you play is that of a baby. And this baby is mewling. What sound does a kitten make? Mew, right? This baby is crying and whining and puking. This is the Shakespeare word, puking. In the nurse's arms. Great. And the nurse is the sort of lady who takes care of the babies. and the children. Age number 2, repeat after me. And then the whining schoolboy, with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. Good, good. So this schoolboy, instead of being a skippy, happy schoolboy, he is a whiny, sad, mad schoolboy. He has a shining morning face, probably from his mom scrubbing his face before he left for school. He's got his heavy backpack, his satchel, and he is creeping like a snail unwillingly to school. So that means he is moving very slowly, right? Snails move slowly. So he's creeping like a snail, walking slowly, slowly to school because he doesn't want to go. Because schools in Shakespeare's day weren't fun, bright, colorful classrooms like we have now. They were pretty strict, they were long hours, and they had wooden seats to sit on, and they were pretty bleak, which means sort of gray and dark. Here's the third age. And then the lover. So repeat after me. And then the lover, sighing like furnace. Good. With a woeful ballad, that means a sad song, made to his mistress' eyebrow. Yeah, mistress is this person he likes, his girlfriend. It just means a lady. And eyebrow is just that he's trying to, when you're an earnest teenager or a young man in love, you try to think of something original, and you can't think of anything better to write about a song, a ballad, about than the girl you like, how her eyebrows are so beautiful. It's crazy. Okay, here's the fourth age. Repeat after me. Then a soldier. Good. Full of strange oaths. Good. And bearded like the pard. Okay, so we'll stop there for a second. So then the soldier, right, he's a little older than the teenager now, he's going into the war. Full of strange oaths means imaginative promises. I swear by my mother-in-law's boot that I shall fight bravely, or something like that. Full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard. He's too young to grow a full beard, so he has a spotty beard like a leopard. Pard is short for leopard, bearded like the pard. Okay, repeat after me. This is still about the soldier. Jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation, even in the cannon's mouth. Very good, even in the cannon's mouth. Okay, so when he's jealous in honor, it means he wants to be the most honorable soldier of them all. He wants to be thought of as the best soldier of them all. Sudden and quick in quarrel. A quarrel is like a little fight with somebody. So they're like, hey, you took my piece of pizza. No, I mean, I don't know if they had pizza back then, but he was sudden and quick to sort of have a little fight with somebody. And he was seeking the bubble reputation. A bubble is inflated with air, and he was looking for this reputation. He wants everybody to think of him as this great person, but really a bubble can be broken very easily and popped, right? So he wants people to think of him as being very brave and wonderful, but actually he may not be. And then he says, so he's seeking that wonderful reputation, even in the cannon's mouth. So he's being a little foolish if he's running up to the mouth of a cannon. A cannon is that big metal thing that a cannonball would come out of. So if you run up to the mouth of the cannon, that's not a good play. Don't go there. Don't go there. That's not good. So that's the soldier in Shakespeare's version here. Here's the fifth age. And then the justice. And then the justice. Good. In fair round belly, with good capon lined. Good, I'll stop there. So, and then the justice. The justice is like a judge. So now you're a middle-aged person, and this sort of represents a sort of a middle-class person, fairly well off and making money, and now he's getting a little bit fat, you see. So now he's this justice in fair round belly, so he's a little bit fat there, with good capon lined. All it means is that he's been eating capons. Capons are chickens. He's been eating so much chicken that he's getting a little bit fat. So his stomach is lined with chicken, you see. So it's fatter and fatter. Okay, repeat after me. With eyes severe. Severe, yes. And beard of formal cut. Very good. So, of course, that means serious eyes or severe eyes, and beard of formal cut. So it means it's neatly trimmed. Okay, so repeat after me. Full of wise saws and modern instances. And so he plays his part. Good. So wise saws are just stories. He likes to talk and tell all sorts of stories. Maybe he's telling stories about when he was in the war. And modern instances are just other examples of stories that he's telling of his life. So he talks a lot. Okay, here's the sixth age. We're almost done. This is a tongue twister. The sixth age shifts. Can you say that? One more time. The sixth age shifts. Good. Into the lean and slippered pantaloon. Now, Pantaloon was a comical character from Commedia dell'arte. It's a classic old man character who was very thin and had his cane, you see. And he also had a money pouch on his hip that he would keep close to him so nobody would steal his money. So that's the Pantaloon. Okay, repeat after me. With spectacles on nose. Good. And pouch on side. That's his money bag. Good. His youthful hose. That's the stockings he wears. So say that. His youthful hose. Well saved. A world too wide for his shrunk shank. Very good. In those days, men they were kind of like what we would consider leggings now. And they wore big pants over them and shoes and stuff like that. He saved his leggings since when he was a more muscular young man. He saved them, but now he's shrunk and skinny and old. And so his hose sort of hang on him a little bit. His leggings are looking quite baggy on him. For his shrunk shank, a shank is his leg. So his leg is skinny, but his leggings or hose are big and baggy. Okay, repeat. And his big manly voice, turning again toward childish treble. Pipes and whistles in his sound. So he used to have a big manly voice, but as he got older, his voice got higher into his treble area. You might know about the treble clef from music. So treble means higher. So it turned in pipes and whistles in his sound. You know, sometimes people talk when they're old, they whistle a little bit when they talk like that. Yeah, in his sound, so you hear it. Last scene of all that ends this strange, eventful history. Good, so let's take that. Repeat after me. Last scene of all that ends this strange, eventful history. Very good. Is second childishness and mere oblivion. And this is age 7. So the last scene of all, the last scene you're going to play in life, you've returned back to a child. I don't know if any of you have really elderly grandparents or great-grandparents, and sometimes when you get older you need to be taken care of like you were when you were little. People might need to feed you or help you get dressed or things like that. So that's what he's talking about. You return back to your childhood. And mere oblivion just means you're not aware of anything. Now, sans is an English pronunciation of a French word, which means without. So they're going to pronounce it sans, and they say sans teeth. Can you repeat? Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. What an ending. So it means without, without being able to see, without being able to taste very well anymore, without anything. Ha ha ha. Now we understand the whole speech. Now, let's perform it together. Let's read it. All right, here we go.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. Then the whining schoolboy, with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace, with a woeful ballad made to his mistress' eyebrow. Then a soldier, full of strange oaths, and bearded like the bard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly, with good capon lined, with eyes severe, and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. The 6th age shifts into the lean and slippered Pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side, his youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank, and his big manly voice turning again toward childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all that ends this strange eventful history is second childishness, and mere oblivion, sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
And now, you are a Shakespearean actor. You did a fantastic job. Here's a question for you. The character who does this speech in the play As You Like It is named Jaques. Do you think that he is full of positivity and looking at the world with rosy glasses and a sunny disposition? Does he have great hope? Or do you think he's looking at everything very cynically? Interesting. Let's look at the words. The whining schoolboy, the mewling, puking baby, the overblown lover, the soldier who quarrels quickly, the justice who speaks too much, the old Pantaloon who continues to wear his youthful clothes, but they're too old and baggy for him, or the poor person at the end who can't hear or see or do it much of anything. Yeah, it's a crazy speech, isn't it? But it's very, very famous, and so many people quote it and talk about the world being a stage, and all of us are merely actors in it. Well, it's been wonderful spending time with you, wonderful actors. Take care, be safe. Bye, everyone. Always remember, no matter where you are, you have the freedom to imagine and the power to create. Isn't that right, William Shakespeare? Oh, he's nodding vigorously. I knew it. If he can do it during the plague, so can we.